So, hello and welcome back to Podcast with Neil on Netflix Football. North London Derby is upon us, Arsenal versus Chelsea, and something we cannot actually exclude from this channel. And with me to do there's lots of banter in store for you guys tonight. All the Umang fans, just wait until we have the panelists tonight. So, okay, joining me tonight is, as usual, Umang Astana, the only Arsenal fan I've managed to bring on screen right now until and unless someone from the United fan base decides to go on loan on Arteta's men. And by the way, joining us for the first time on Podcast with Neil is Amay. He's Indian Guy Talks VS. Going straight to Amay. Amay, probably the first podcast that you've been involved in. So just give us a highlight of, and you're starting a channel as well. By the way, guys, I've linked him on the description. You can follow him on Twitter, Instagram. All of them are in the description. Do show the love and support for our brother over here. So, Amay, straight to you, your journey. And we were talking about how you decided to start your own podcast channel, about yourself and your feelings about being on Podcast with me.
I mean, Neil, it's lovely to be here, man, for the first time. And I'm glad we've chosen a very special occasion. It's the way things have been shaping up. So I'm excited for the game. And of course to talk to you guys. And as far as me, my journey is concerned, I've taken this step to bring myself on the virtual space. I'll be talking a lot about sports, cricket, football, the sorts. I'm just having a podcast where I go into different people, their lives. Maybe Neil can feature sometime soon as well. So we're talking about that.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to be in contact with the passion that we all share of the same game called football. And with the passion, Umang is on fire tonight. Now, lineups are not out. Did Umang shave for this? Umang, the nation wants to know.
No. No, I didn't. I'm in a meeting actually today with a client, so I had to do shaving.
कहाँ का?
Capgemini का एक client था एक company का.
No. I'm just asking. Shave. You did not mention the position or the location.
Oh no. This much only.
Okay, Rishi Rajda is back. Rishi Rajda, he, by the way, is a coach of his university football team and he loves talking tactics. But the one thing that he impressed me about is the fact that before I actually invited him on a podcast, his first thing was, "Yaar, bhai, मुझे Arsenal podcast पे लाओ. I have to banter them. Like that's my number one duty in life. I have been brought into this world because of that, and without that, my existence doesn't mean anything." Rishi Rajda, how excited are you?
To be very honest, very excited, but unfortunately not very excited also because it cannot be a one versus two. That's unfair.
Yeah, thank you.
So today I'll be on a neutral basis.
Okay,
so did an Arsenal fan back out or something? You told me about that shit. What happened with him?
Actually, Man City fans are easier to find than Arsenal fans on a podcast right now.
True.
Yeah, Umang is going to have a tough time tonight. I can feel the energy out of. Okay, the lineups are still to be out, around 4 or 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
So let us actually start with
what the 4 minutes.
Around 4 minutes. So we'll start with the first topic of the podcast. Is let me insult Umang a bit more and show the league table right now. Okay.
We are 9 though. I thought we were 11.
Always positive Arsenal fans. You cannot just get most of it. No, on a serious note, Umang, last season when Arteta won his first trophy, we were all excited about the fact that we could have seen something very different. Umang, and where did it go wrong actually when signing Willian, Gabriel Melanges, Thomas Partey? We all thought that Arsenal filling in gaping holes. So to take us through what actually went so wrong this season that you guys are below Tottenham. Man, come on.
firstly, the wrong thing was that if you fill a hole with Willian, you are bound to be failed. You are bound to get failed, you know. And secondly, he wasn't bad in the summer, as I told you earlier as well, because
Hmm.
he wanted Hasem Awar as well, along
Hmm.
with Thomas Partey. So yeah, he wasn't bad in the summer, and few things are down to his failure as well, like playing a false nine versus Villarreal when we don't score goals from midfield. So it's not all his fault, but yeah, uh, some of his fault as well. And majority of the fault are owners. They are the parasites. They should leave, and because
What do
Come
you think
on,
about the
yes.
acquisition? So, if I could ask him, what do you think about the acquisition? The potential acquisition.
potential
Spotify.
acquisition. Yeah, as much as I have heard about him, he's an Arsenal fan, and someone said sell Oba. He's he's an Arsenal fan, so and he's being backed with like Henry, Bergkamp, and Patrick Vieira. So
Hmm.
if he gets a bid in, maybe uh, let's see what happens. But I don't think that Stan will sell because he wants to make more and more money, and hopefully
Hmm.
he'll back us in the summer. But you need like 200 million uh, to like build a squad again.
Yeah,
So don't.
at a minimum point is that in this current market, at least a better than average player at least cost 50, 45, 50 million pounds. So that's the transfer fees that we're talking about that none of the clubs at this moment of time have and the luxury that they have.
Up.
I'll go to you. I'll go to you on this that fact that Chelsea actually sacked Frank Lampard, and when he came in, Thomas Tuchel, we had our expectations when we had our reservations on the fact that how he's going to perform. Like I rate Thomas Tuchel extremely as a tactician, as a master tactician, and someone who doesn't actually show is very much underrated in one word. So Amay, just walk us through the emotions that you had when Lampard was sacked, one of your own, Thomas Tuchel coming in, rescuing the club to a fourth spot, two major finals, one which is later this week against Leicester, and then Champions League final, as we all know. Amay, just talk us through the all the incidents that followed.
I mean, the reason why I reacted to it in this way, like I laughed about it, is uh, is when it happened. It felt like a proper breakup. Like when Frank was sacked, it was an eventful day. Like Twitter went mad. Matt Law tweeted it. I guess in the morning, and then the whole day was just that. So a lot of us Chelsea fans felt like he was going to stay for a bit. Maybe the second season was going to be seen out, but
Mhm.
then in hindsight, I honestly think we made the right choice. A lot of discussion with me and my friends was around uh, should have should he have been given the time, Lampard. But now we know that this squad, the depth of the squad, the quality of the squad, with Tuchel, who like you just mentioned is a master tactician. I rate him top three. Probably,
I have
I'm not gonna rate people. Yeah, yeah. Go on.
no, no, sorry. You carry on.
Now, I mean, I'm just saying that top three, I rate him in top three, Tuchel, and then he's just changed the dimensions. I mean, like this is crazy. The way we're in the Champions League final, FA Cup final. But credit to Lampard, though he got us here, and this is something Tuchel also mentioned in his recent interview. He paid respect to Lampard. He said it's because of him that we're here. So yeah, I mean, he put us in this situation. He transitioned the whole squad into a young squad, into a youthful squad, into a squad which has a mentality of winning. So I mean, the players that he's given us, his legacy will be Mason Mount, Reece James, so many young players were just about to erupt, and that happened because of Lampard. So I've just dropped the earphone. Very passionate about this, but you know how it is. We're playing good football, so I expect a good game today. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, the lineups are out. Just highlighting them on screen right now. One football as usual has not disappointed. Okay, going with the Chelsea lineup first. Kepa Arrizabalaga makes a start on goal. Cesar Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, and Kurt Zuma in defense. Reece James, Billy Gilmore, Jorginho, and Ben Chilwell make up the midfield. Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic, and Kai Havertz in the rotating front three slot for Chelsea. As for Arsenal, Bernd Leno starts on goal, Rob Holding, Gabriel Melanges, Mari Villar, and Kieran Tierney on the defense. Thomas Partey partners Mohamed Elneny in the midfield. Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Emil Smith Rowe on the attacking front. Leading the line would be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And going straight to Rishiraj the Chelsea lining up on this sort, starting Kepa, benching Timo Werner. Do you think this is a strong, formidable lineup that Thomas Tuchel has put up?
Like I said in my last podcast against Real Madrid, that no person is a confirmed starter in a Thomas Tuchel lineup. So it was expected that we would see some players rested because, after all, there is an FA Cup final that is coming up against Leicester City. And I mean, Leicester had that 1 day advantage over us. That, they played yesterday and we are playing today. And then again, we have to play on Saturday, an FA Cup final. So, maybe that way, that's why he's rotated a squad and, may put in players, rested Mendy, he's rested, Werner, which is very important, and he's most importantly rested N'Golo Kante. Now that is going to cause us a lot of problems. So I am going to say that this team is going to be overrun by Arsenal on all fronts.
Okay, that's a very bold
It's a
claim.
bold prediction, yeah.
It's a bold claim. We'll go into the analytics of that and threads of that in a bit. Okay, Umang, you're up. Umang, on the Arsenal front, looks a strong-ish side with what Arsenal have right now. Considering the fact the team is ninth, do you think, if I dare say it, that Arsenal in to cause an upset over the top four London counterparts?
Mm, we can cause an it won't like we can cause an upset, but I think he's playing 3-4-3. Holding won't play as a right back because he simply doesn't have pace and he'll get overrun. So I don't think Holding will play as a right back. Saka will play as a right wing back, and the two number tens will be this Odegaard and ESR. ESR, yeah, Odegaard and ESR, and yeah, Aubameyang will be the striker as so. So uh, I think he should have played Chambers for this match or Cedric maybe. Given the pace that Chelsea has, I haven't seen the lineup. So given the pace that Chelsea has, so he should have played Cedric. But yeah, let's see what happens. I don't think we'll win. Like they are in a good form as well, so I don't think we'll win.
Am
And
I
So
going?
songs,
according to what my sources, my scouts are saying regarding the Arsenal lineup, Rob Holding is going to play as right back. Gabriel, Pablo Mari, Kieran Tierney, and then Thomas
yeah,
Partey and El Neni are going to be there. And then apparently they've put Buyako Saka on the left and Emil Rose Smith on the right.
right.
So quick
And they are going to play.
inside information from
Hmm.
Rishi Raj. By the way, he's a coach for his university team, so we can all expect some quirks here and there. Okay, I'll put Rishi Raj on hold for a bit. Am I going on with what Rishi Raj has said that Arsenal are going to somehow steamroll Chelsea? Banks aside, do you think that that is something a formidable cause that he said about? Are you scared seeing this Arsenal lineup? Is anyone scared seeing an Arsenal lineup these days?
I mean, you put it there, man, rightly away. So the only thing which I feel Chelsea has above Arsenal right now, and that's mentality. And we know for a fact that certain areas Arsenal can't cope if they're hit perfectly. So Tuchel does that. He's a mastermind. He does that. Then when nearly it'll be a chill game, like casual win in my opinion. But I could be wrong because Arsenal has been that bogey teams at times for us. Uh, but I guess Chelsea would be okay. It's a pragmatic lineup again from Tuchel, so we will be okay.
Okay, pragmatism is the word that is
It's
going on right now.
it's the need of the hour.
There's a bit of like here and there because this lineup is somewhat, and Rishi Rajda is already frustrated seeing the fact that Timo Werner is not starting and he cannot get the bans.
No, I expected this kind of a thing. However, I never expected Kepa to start. That is where my problem lies. Because
But
I
he's been
remember
okay
the
for us,
last time.
right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I remember the last time when Kepa started for us, we beat Arsenal 3-2. That was the last game I
Yeah.
remember under Maurizio Sarri.
Sorry.
How Aubameyang steamrolled past Kepa with his long range shots. So that's probably
Opa.
the only Arsenal versus Chelsea memory I have of Kepa. So definitely not Kepa today, not in a Premier League game, and not against London rivals. Maybe Kepa against, maybe Kepa should have played against Leicester, because currently, going with the whole thing about Brendan Rodgers, Leicester is bottling left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So it will
Okay.
be easier if he would have taken, Kepa for the FA Cup and played Mendy today, because being with Mendy, the defense gets that extra confidence. But now with with Kepa and Rudiger in the same defense, I have my
Yeah.
hopes on Lord.
No, the fact about Leicester bottling, like I had this podcast with United fans yesterday, said that we cannot consider Leicester City to be an elite club in the sense that, and it's a testament to the fact to them that we are considering them to be bottling, that the expectation is being placed on them to be serial top four challenges. I'll stick with you, Rishiraj Da, and you said that Timo
Sure.
Werner finally had been rested for after quite a long time, and since it's the caption reads it's Turbo Timo time, and the way that he started under Frank Lampard with drew comparisons with his price tag, with his missed chances being linked with Fernando Torres's dreadful career at Chelsea, and all those BS stuff, as Amay would like to point out. But how has Tuchel especially turned around his game? Was there a tactical change, or was there the whole what has gone right with Tuchel and Timo Werner? Just walk us through that.
You see, the thing is that with the arrival of Thomas Tuchel, not only has the confidence of the squad changed, but he has instilled this kind of confidence in his players that I believe in you, and you have to perform. So day in day out, despite of the misses that Werner has had, against Real Madrid, if you look at when they played hopelessly against Bournemouth, I'm saying against Brighton, when they managed to get rid of the ESL, and basically, you know so I would like to pause there and say something to Love Krishna here. If it would not have been for Liverpool's downfall and Spurs' downfall, Leicester would not have made it into the top six. Let me be very, very honest with you. Had Liverpool not had the injuries that they have had, there would definitely
Yeah.
be no Leicester City, at least in the top five. So, biggest mistake for you to consider is Leicester a top six team with the with the, with the current squads that there are. I in fact had, when someone had asked me what is going to be a prediction, in fact I had said that West Ham is going to finish in the top 7 in the Premier League this season, and people were like, I have you gone mad and stuff, and look where the hell West Ham United are sitting. They're fifth in the table, and they've played some exceptional football.
Yeah.
And so it's basically, you cannot accept the fact that, see, look, Leicester squad is aging, and they are going to not finish in the top 6 next year. That is the thing. And me coming back to the fact that Timo Werner, with the fact that Timo Werner, what has happened is Tuchel is playing him in, sort of a second striker sort of a thing behind Kai Havertz, or sometimes Havertz and him are changing positions. We
Right.
all know for a fact that that Timo Werner is never comfortable playing on the left wing. He never played
Yeah.
on the left wing when he was at Leipzig. He always had a strike partner.
Yeah.
Now, Timo Werner is a player who cannot play solo as a striker. He will make an absolute mess of it. He needs someone to support him. So, maybe if he had, if we didn't have that problem with the striker, maybe, if he would have partnered with Giroud up front, the same thing what Yusuf Paulson was providing to
Paulson,
him.
absolutely. The
Yeah,
target man kind
what
of an approach.
exactly what Paulson was providing to him with Marcel Sabitzer at RB Leipzig is what basically Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic can provide to him, provided he has that other striking partner up front, because considering the fact that Timo Werner is not a one-man striker, it's not he it I understand that they brought him as a striker and all, so there are different there there have been some changes in his game from what you see in the first half of the season, and what goes from the second half of the season, and what goes from the confidence in Timo is there. He wants to play. He wants to try and impress the players, impress the
Right.
fans, impress the managers, but he still needs to figure his game out. And like I said, Neil, last time also in that podcast where we had Real Madrid, one
Mm-hmm.
season does not judge a player, especially in the Premier League. You
Yeah.
cannot judge one player just by one season. Fine, there are players who adjust in 6 months or 7 months, but there are players who take at least 2.5 to 3 seasons to adjust to the Premier League. The biggest example of that is David De Gea. I mean, he was shambolic when he came to Manchester United. I mean, I thought that they made a mistake. They should have probably gone for Sergio Asenjo, who at that time was a much better keeper than David De Gea. But then that confidence that they had, they constantly keeping on bringing him up. It took him 2.5 seasons to basically put himself on top of the game and
Right.
become, in the top 10 best goalkeepers in the world. So Timo Werner needs time. Yes, probably next season, if he flounders, makes the same mistakes, then I will say that yes, there definitely is something wrong. Maybe his game is not suited for the Premier League. But as of now, first season, it's very, very difficult to judge,
Well, to actually judge.
especially with a change in management from season one to from half of the season to the other half of the season.
Quite true. Okay, Umang, there's a question for Umang. Love Krishna says that, Umang, what's your say on ownership and the transfer budget? But before you answer that, I'd like to actually, on the notion of the transfer budget, like to highlight this young gentleman that Arsenal signed on a free and aimed to win the Champions League. So answer that question and then do speak about what Willian has had, because I remember the first game of the season where Willian had 3 assists and after that he had nothing,
3 assists.
like
Yeah.
literally nothing. So do explain the feeling with what Willian has brought onto the team, how you guys are going to win the Champions League without being participating in it. And on a serious note, okay, not this one, your thoughts on the ownership, about what we have talked about and the
Yeah.
transfer budget that we have got.
Yeah.
Go on.
So as I told you earlier, that if you are filling your holes with Willian, you are bound to get failed. He was not an answer, but the like, and he asked about the owner as well. So I think he bought Arsenal in 2006, if I'm not wrong, and since then we are in decline only. And I think he got the full shares in 2017 or 18, and from that you can see our positions. So he should leave, and the transfer budget, like he gave us only 40 million to compete with like City, Chelsea, United, and even Spurs. So it's not enough. He should leave. Actually, he should leave. He should sell, and he should just go and do some other stuff, man. He's a parasite.
And more on Willian.
No, I just it's enough. It's enough. I'll start
You
abusing him.
spoke you spoke more on Willian than he had actual contributions for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay, am I going straight to you on this? But see, Willian was a player that was very crucial for Chelsea in their last season. There were talks that he would be
No,
extending.
no, 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 no. Now,
No,
see, this is where you made a mistake. This
no,
is
no.
where you're making a mistake.
I'll hear Amay's thoughts on this. Then I'll go to you, Rishiraj.
Sure, sure,
No,
sure.
I want to
Amay,
know. I want to know. I want to know. What's up? Like, what are you saying, Rishiraj? Yeah. What happened?
okay,
See,
Rishiraj, go on.
look, like I said, like with William, first of all, I am so sorry, Umang, but if you did watch my last podcast with Neil
Yeah.
on the Real Madrid thing, I mentioned one very crucial fact, that Willian is the best player in the Premier League and there is nothing you can do about it. and that is the blatant truth that we Chelsea fans have been dealing with for the past 6 seasons before he joined Arsenal
He
on a
joined.
free transfer.
You remember the time he publicly proclaimed 50% of the goals he scored made and 50% Hazard. You remember that?
Yeah.
Exactly. This is the reason why I say that Willian is the greatest player to have ever graced the pitches on the Premier League.
I mean, the
Look,
man has a restaurant in London. He really didn't want
you
to,
even David Luiz has a restaurant in London.
which is why he stayed. So,
Yeah, even you see, fine.
So
I
you no 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 no
understand.
no wait. So you're saying Willian went to Arsenal as a part-time job and his main job was the
that's
restaurant?
exactly what I said.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
exactly what I
that's
He's
said.
exactly what that's
Yeah.
exactly the main
he
I mean,
reason.
started
it's
actually.
Even
facts.
David
He
It's
started
Luiz,
facts.
actually.
It's
Yeah,
for
he
facts.
started
that for
actually.
that matter, for that matter,
Arif agrees.
even
He speaks fact.
He is speaking
Oh
facts
my
right now.
god.
He's correct.
I
No,
am
the
speaking
deal.
fact.
Yeah.
The,
It is there written blatantly on paper. Jamie Carragher has also agreed with what I have said that Willian is the best player in the Premier League.
Jamie is a mug man.
But
Okay,
See,
exactly.
why I will never not agree with you about being a crucial part of the Chelsea role. To be very honest, that time when Willian was at the club, we never had the likes of Christian Pulisic or Hakim Ziyech to shove him out of the squad.
True, true,
Yeah.
true.
Because
Amen,
if
amen.
because if you look at his performances, he was very inconsistent.
Hmm.
He was a dead ball specialist, yes.
Somebody mentioned that way.
Yeah, his free kicks are exceptional. I would not deny that. Being that Brazilian thing, that Brazilian
Hmm.
samba style football that he
His
plays and all,
technique's very sexy, man. The way he steps
techniques
up to
were
take
very
the free
good,
kick. But
but he was
it
in.
didn't work.
It
It
was, yeah,
didn't
I
work.
agree with Amay there. He
Hmm.
he was very inconsistent. And the
Hmm.
other thing that it caused him a problem was, would have caused him a problem if he would have stayed at Chelsea. I am telling you, under Thomas Tuchel, he would not have started.
Hmm.
Not
Obviously.
maybe he would have had the same
Listen,
issue
it wouldn't have
currently.
gone that far, man. It wouldn't have gone that
He
far.
would have had the same
I'm
issue. What
I'm
what?
telling you, he would have been screwed off, fucked off
Yeah, he
in
would
the
have
window
basically
itself,
be
in the first window. Yeah.
the same issue what Tammy is having under Tuchel, that he's not getting to start. He's not even in the lineup.
What's happened with
Not
Tammy
even in.
is, if I could just come and give a word about Tammy, I
Sure.
feel for him because there have been instances where, like, Werner, we stuck with him. I believe in Werner from day one. I believe in him. He's German excellence, in my opinion, by the way. So, all I can say is that there were instances where Tammy could have come on, done the job, because he has very good numbers. I mean, you guys have to see the numbers he has. Everywhere he's gone, he scored goals. He's been the highest scorer. So all that stuff is, it counts for something. And the fact that Tuchel has maintained such a great run, has delivered so well, there has been little to no need to have Tammy. But I feel like sometime maybe Tammy would have done the job. Maybe
He
against
could
West
have.
Brom,
He could have been that Yusuf Paulson he was talking about.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
strike
when
partner which he needed.
there was a
No,
brief
no, no,
period
no, no, no. You
under.
see, Yusuf Paulson is a target man. What Neil specifically
Uh,
mentioned. He's something like Giroud.
But
You
he's more
need a
agile.
target man.
He's more mobile. He runs a
He's
lot.
more mobile.
Giroud
Yes,
doesn't
I
run a lot.
agree. But Tammy is not a kind of a player which can partner you up
I
front.
mean, he's
yeah.
what, 22, 23. He could have been that player, right? I mean, he is. He can
He
hold up the
still
ball. We've
can
seen
become
him.
that player.
We can see
He
him.
just
We've
needs to
seen
leave the
him.
club.
Yeah, yeah. That's the bottom line set for him because we will invest in a better striker because we want to win the league, that legit outright. And I want us to dominate, and it won't happen if we don't get a high pedigree, striker coming in who can score in every other game. With Werner, we've seen so many days where it was so frustrating, but he just came through. He just came through. So God bless for that. But yeah, I mean, it's been a journey.
It has
It
been a
it
journey. It has been a huge journey.
Hmm.
Considering the fact that it has come to this thing that when Lampard got sacked, and Neil said something very very true, that when Lampard got sacked, no one had expected this Chelsea team to go into the top four or even make it to the Champions League final.
Somebody just said Giroud is the best. So
Yes,
I
he
No,
just
is. You can't
Willian's the
deny
best.
the
No, no, no,
fact.
no. Don't contradict yourself. Willian's the best. You just said
Willian
Willian's the
is the
best.
best in the Premier League.
mm,
Giroud is the best French
maybe
striker after Benzema.
Williams the best at bankering at just bill फाड़ना किसी और के नाम पे kind of PS. So Williams great at that.
Okay, okay, enough. Okay, moving back to the whole scheme of things. Okay, so something that Chelsea fans, when they got rid of Willian, and Arsenal fans, when they got Willian, expected this guy to blossom. And
Ooh.
tonight, with a new hairstyle, Umang, Aubameyang,
Sasta Travis Scott.
Yeah,
What the hell is this?
he's going through a midlife crisis, man. Outright. देखो यार, goal
He
मार
changed his
This is a
hairstyle,
new
I think.
hairstyle?
No.
ये तो बहुत
This
time
was the
पहले हुआ
previous
ना
one.
यार. Yeah.
Yeah, हाँ ये इससे पहले था. I think he changed it. Versus Villarreal, he
Oh
was
god.
like something else.
Oh god.
Sasta
he
Travis
has
Scott.
he had been so poor that even I couldn't find recent pics of hairstyle of Aubameyang. Anyways, on a
Yeah.
perspective, on a tactical perspective, is that yeah, Aubameyang had been one of the top scorers in the Premier League, and he had been a very good striker that has graced the Premier League. And suddenly, even though with the likes of Thomas Partey, we thought that he would be unleashed, like we tried to unleash Pogba for so many years, that we would expected Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to take it to the next level, being that 20
Yeah.
from 20 goals to 25, 30 odd goals in the Premier League. And since where Arsenal left off last season, and with the signings of probably even a Gabriel Martinelli coming in to support Aubameyang, and with Lacazette not kicking in, Nicolas Pepe, another disaster, 80 million, which no one talks about, by the way. It's only Harry Maguire FC
You know
that's
what the
bought for 80
reply?
million.
Wait, Neil. I have to say this. You know what the reply of most Arsenal fans was for this transfer? It's that we paid it in installments. It's that it was that
Yeah.
people were
We are
coming
still
coming
paying
to
in
me.
installments. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that
We
was
are.
their rebuttal because this guy has been so bad. He's been and the irony is that we wanted him, Chelsea wanted him, I wanted him. He looked like a very good player for our style, which is different to Arsenal, by the way. And I'm also speaking about that era where we more were towards a counter-attacking team. We were more on the break. I'm talking about Conte era, post Conte, maybe even. But now look at him. It's been bad.
Umang, your thoughts on
I just
yeah, go
wanted to add, like, yeah, Pepe, you're calling him bad. Actually, he's not that bad. We don't play up to his strength.
80
In
million
league,
back, now, buddy.
भाई अब उसकी गलती कहाँ है कि हमने
हाँ वो तो
80
है.
मिलियन
Yeah.
दिए.
Yeah.
उसकी गलती थोड़ी ना कि हमने 80 मिलियन
I
दिए.
do agree. I do agree.
Umang legit defending Nicolas Pepe like we defend our ex toxic girlfriends. Like seriously, bro.
But like,
Come on.
No, I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that like we don't play up to his like strength. In league,
then
he
why
was
isn't he
a
adapting?
counter-attacking player.
Maybe you would expect him to adapt
Uh,
because he's been in this prem for a while. कब तक?
Just some, हाँ मैं सुन रहा हूँ. Like कुछ प्लेयर लेते हैं यार टाइम में, मैं क्या ही बताऊँ इसके बारे में.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Maybe next
I
season.
agree.
Maybe next
Yeah,
season
it's
कुछ करेगा
possible.
hopefully.
But you guys, that's the thing, right? Like, I feel like maybe I can have a word on Arteta. Initially, when he'd come in, he steadied the ship to a great extent. He
Yeah.
instilled some great philosophies of working hard for the ball, of zonally being together, of being compact when they lose the ball. All that shit was happening. They weren't scoring goals, which is till this date consistent. Abhi tak ho raha hai. And now it's become so bad that they're losing one of the biggest matches in their past decade. And by the way, like the last biggest match, you know what happened? Baku name drop. So
I
मैं यही बोल रहा
I
हूँ.
knew you would sneak in that.
Yeah, I had to. But then मैं यही बोल रहा हूँ कि I don't know. Like you just mentioned, right? It's the board, man. It's the cancer is so deep. It's to vital issues. The way the club is run, Arteta is not to be blamed, man. He's not. He should be given certain players, which possibly go through his philosophy, and money has to be spent. Look, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, that's all I feel about the way Arsenal is right now.
But he won't be spending money, na. Our owners is.
नहीं वो तो यार.
And I've said everything about it.
I want to know more about this OnlyFans patch. So Someone please
अरे
shed some.
अरे
Yeah,
these are my school brothers. Like we go back a long time, so yeah, that's mad.
yeah.
Like
The whole audience is here to see you, Umang. Yeah, Rishraj, you're not audible. You're not audible.
Am I not audible? Wait.
It's very low.
yeah,
Okay, we'll have a comment in between. He said, "Can we talk about how everyone shits on Thiago for being a bad signing, where he's partly been at the heart of Atletico? I
hmm?
mean, Thiago. I mean, he means Thomas Partey, doesn't he?
Yeah, Thomas Partey. Yeah,
What a mix up, man. And this is my friend, like I'm disappointed. What a stupid comment. Ye kya bola? And I'll tell you why, because this guy adores Thiago. He keeps raving about him, and he's just, look at him, correct him.
Thomas
Thomas
Partey. Come
Yeah,
on,
Partey.
man. It's Thomas Partey.
stupid.
Partey. Yeah.
Okay, my man Shayan says, Neelda, I thought of paying you and support the channel with rupees. Yeah, 5 rupees baro yaar. With a message that say Arsenal will win today, but my Google
Not
Pay
for
showed 404 Arsenal win. Not for. Yeah, everyone's taking
My
the piss at
God.
Arsenal. But but
we'll
but
talk after the match. Yeah.
yeah, that's the spirit. Anyways, by the way, even I as a Man United fan, okay, Rishraj Das probably went and came back, like substituted himself, like Willian does in some matches. Okay, a story about me supporting Man United is that there was a magazine, there's a Bengali magazine called Puja Varshik, which releases around Durga Puja time. And there was a picture of Thierry Henry and Ruud van Nistelrooy together during that O2 season and after the Invincible season. And I was very much inclined toward what Arsenal were, but then I fell in love with Ruud van Nistelrooy. Okay, Rishraj Da, you're back.
Yeah,
You're
now
audible
you can hear
probably.
my voice, I think.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah, go on. What
Sure.
you were trying to
So
say.
what I was saying was, Arsenal currently have a wrong set of players. Okay, if you look at the fact, if you look at an Arsenal team, tell me who is the playmaker in the
Odegaard.
current
Odegaard.
Arsenal?
Odegaard
Huh?
and Odegaard and Emil Smith Rowe. They are number 10s, like
Emil
traditional
Smith
number
Rowe
10.
is not. See, you need someone like a world class playmaker, probably,
Yeah,
I mean,
Ozil
it does not
had.
have to be. It does not even have to be a loanee who's not nearly made it at the highest
Yeah,
level.
I mean, you could
yeah,
have
yeah.
had, if Arteta would not have missed, if Ozil would not have been mistreated,
No,
with
that was bad.
Ozil in that lineup,
Yeah.
Yeah. He could have used Ozil, I agree. Yeah.
If Ozil had been at that, I'm telling you one thing: if Ozil had been in that lineup, and you people would have kept, I think Torreira is still there. If he's not there, I don't know about that. But
Yeah,
Lucas Torreira and with Ozil,
Thomas. Yeah.
Mesut Ozil would have unlocked so much potential in Pepe as well as in Aubameyang.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
right. Agree.
that would
Agree.
have basically solved 50% of all of Arsenal's
But wait,
problems.
wait, 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 wait. Wasn't Pepe like a signing in the previous manager where Ozil was a regular? I still don't think a lot happened.
Ozil wasn't
I
a
honestly
regular.
feel.
Ozil wasn't a regular under
Ozil was
Unai Emery
never
as
a
well.
regular. That was the biggest
Yeah.
problem.
Hmm.
Ozil was never a regular.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what the problem is. I'll tell you what the problem is. In my opinion, जितना डैमेज आर्टेटा ने ओजल के सिचुएशन में किया है उतनी ही बीएस इंडियन गाय टॉक्स बीएस उतनी ही बीएस ये लोग ने करी है क्या बोलते हैं ओजल ने खुद करी है हिज ऑन ट्रांस not turning up to trainings on time, not being motivated for games which are not London Derby SP.
And
You need
and
consistent
other
levels.
actually, my other factors involved were as well as there. Umang will know that he
Yeah,
went against the owners on the social media. He went
China,
against the
China,
Chinese things
that
and
happened.
the club, and then publicly the Gananosaurus thing. That was probably the last straw, wasn't it,
It
Umang?
became political. It became
Uh,
political.
against the Chinese and the owner, he was spot on. I agree with him at all front. Against that the Soros thing, uh, I support him because as a big club, uh, like you can't let 55 people go, like and you have a
Yeah, the way
owner who is a
that
multi-billionaire
happened, man.
and a owner
Yeah,
who
man.
is a multi-billionaire. I don't know what happened, and Ozil was right,
Yeah, so
and
basically, I agree with the fact, but with the caliber, of the player, what Arsenal had brought from Real Madrid with the thing of Ozil, I'm telling you, had Ozil stayed at the club and not had those issues that he had
Yeah, I
at the
agree.
club, Arsenal would have been a different ball game altogether. Maybe they needed to work mostly, on buying better defenders. But with Ozil, Pepe, and Aubameyang, they probably would not have needed another player because
Like
Ozil is the puzzle, is the piece of the
Rishiraj,
puzzle that was required.
Right.
We
Rishiraj,
needed
Rishiraj.
a better CDM, and we got it in
Yeah,
Thomas
but too
Partey.
late, too late,
Yeah,
too
too
late.
late. Yeah,
Ozil already. So if I
It
could
was too
like
late.
add
That's what
to
I'm saying. It
add to
was all.
what,
It was too late.
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, the only thing which I can say for this is that Ozil, yeah, what you just said, Rishiraj, of him having the potential to be the last piece, I get that. But I feel like it's a very philosophical thought. If it had to
yeah,
happen, it would have happened. They tried. Ozil didn't have the mentality needed to, perhaps what Henry had, to lead the club,
yeah.
to be
Ozil
the
was his
front
fault as
runners.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Ozil was his
that's what
fault
I'm
as well.
saying. It's equal, and it started very well. I remember the time with Wenger, we still got so many beautiful clips. There's this goal where he taps it with his like his side foot. Giroud just scores that shit. See, I feel for this, but then again, it's fault equally shared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
Okay, enough of the nostalgia merchants out there. Now, time for something very much tactical as we move on to the tactical analysis segment. So, this is a clip that I have from the Chelsea Arsenal fixture this season. So, see the position that these players have taken up. Chelsea, as usual, we all know how compact they are. Timo Werner playing off the left wing, Tammy starting up top. This is under Lampard, by the way, in the
Yeah,
starting weeks of the Premier League. Now, considering the fact that Arsenal Granit Xhaka is someone that lot of the Arsenal game flows through,
hmm.
would you, Umang? This question is for Umang. Would you expect that even though with Granit Xhaka and maybe Thomas Partey, Arsenal are at times bit too much defensive for their own liking, and that somehow does not fit up with what Thomas Partey's best that we saw him play with Atletico Madrid?
Yeah, I agree with you because uh, every time Aubameyang makes a run in the box, Xhaka ignores him like almost 90% of times. He ignores
Mhm.
him. He always passes back or sideways. So yeah, Arsenal are a bit defensive with this pivot of Xhaka and Partey. But here in this league, we can see I think it's Emil Smith Rowe, and it's the first game he started, if I'm not wrong,
Yes.
and
He was
I
good for
think
that game. Yeah, he ran the midfield well.
yeah he got in the holes, those
Yeah.
pockets which Kante was leaving behind, and that impacted the game very much. So
Mm.
hopefully he does that today, but I don't think so.
Pretty much what we expected. I'll have the slide in a bit, but Rishi Rajda is coming on and off, like I said, with what William does in the matches. Okay, comments from Rahil says, rocking the stash, Ame. Ame has got a lot of support tonight. By guys, by the way, do
Yeah.
subscribe to his channel. Yeah, it's linked in the description. Support him.
Yeah,
He's
they've
coming up
been
with a
very
lot of
supportive.
content.
I know. I've subscribed already.
Cheers, cheers. But I need you on the pod sometime, Rishiraj. We can talk about your academy. We can talk about can I just say this? I coached for like 6 months. I coached
Mhm.
kids for 6 months, and I love that. And before that, I didn't really want to do coaching, but it's something else, man. To coach players, to see them get better, it's a good feeling,
Yeah.
and I respect
Absolutely.
you
I've
for
been
that,
doing this
man.
for 6.5 years, bro.
Oh man, I need to talk to you. I'm not even kidding. We need to let's get in touch, buddy. But thanks. Cheers for the sun.
Absolutely. Okay, Risiraj, the second slide that I have is just look at the Chelsea defensive unit. This was still against Lampard, and the fact that this was, by the way, a back four, as you recall. And if you even remember that how Chelsea were slacking off defensively, now Tuchel, being known for his attacking credentials very much, because with Dortmund he was challenging for Bayern with his attacking display. That was magnanimous, to say the least. With PSG, again, Neymar Mbappe, he was tearing it up. And now with Chelsea, how much solid did he make his team? That we don't see this kind of sloppy. As you can see, the overloads Arsenal are causing just even though there you can see 2, 3, 4 Chelsea midfielders in the vicinity, this two pass and one man is in the box. So how much solid has Thomas Tuchel made Chelsea in the last couple of months that he has had?
See, he has instilled that confidence that the club had required. Secondly, he understood where the problem was lying.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
and the problem was that our players, especially our defenders, if you look at the likes of Rudiger, Zuma, Christensen, Aspilicueta, now that he's got Thiago Silva in the mix, we have David Luiz. They are not, probably only okay. Fine, when you had Gary Cahill and John Terry, and you had, as Luis as a thing, you could have played a back four. But with the likes of Rudiger and all these, you cannot play a back four. You have to play a back three, and that is basically what Conte realized. And he switched
Mm.
to a back three. He switched to a back three, and that is basically what Thomas Tuchel has come and done. That he switched to a back three. He's removed the the proper removed the thing that
He's
he's flexing between Reece James and Aspilicueta as wing backs. He's putting Christian
mm.
there. He's putting Zuma there. However, Zuma is not a back three defender. Zuma is a back two defender. That's why probably the team had to let Fikayo Tomori go, who's
Mm.
playing exceptionally
And it
well.
was sad.
And
It was sad. It was sad that it happened before the Tuchel revolution because Tomori would have been
exactly,
so good.
but
He would have been so good,
yes,
man.
but,
Yeah.
but like I said, with the arrival of Thiago Silva, and now
Yeah.
with that other defender that they've got in the form of Malangsar, who
Yeah.
is also a back three defender.
He's also
So
Yeah.
very
what
young.
I
Also,
mean,
also
yeah,
very
what I
talented.
mean by a back three defender is if you look, there, there is one defender, who has to be like what they call a ball playing defender. If you look
Mm.
at the fact that there was this cross that Thiago Silva made, if you remember, right across the pitch. I mean, that was beautiful. However,
Yeah.
that was exactly what David Luiz was doing at Chelsea under Conte. With Victor Moses on one side. So basically, that is what Tuchel has come and done. He's done his homework. He's understood where the players are strong. He understood that he needs to bring in more discipline. He needs to bring in more, tactically to make the defense stronger because we were leaking goals left, right, and center. And
Mm.
like Claudio, when Leicester won the Premier League, what did Claudio Ranieri say? He said, we may be a team that is currently scoring a lot of goals,
Yeah.
but we are conceding a lot of goals as well. Until we don't stop leaking goals, we will never be able to reach the target that we will have, that we had set for ourselves. Like he said, maybe 40 points are enough. But maybe he built on that 40 points and he made himself the champion of England. So you have to see, like they said, defense wins you games.
Yeah.
Alex
If
Ferguson,
you
Rep,
have
what a
a
man.
shit defense,
Mm.
why is Barcelona struggling? Is because
Yeah.
the defense is shit. They
If
don't
you
have a
can't,
proper right back.
mm. If
They
I
don't
could
have a
just,
proper right back.
if
Yeah.
I could add to some of the things uh, Raja said, Tuchel, not only did he do his homework, he essentially thought about everything, and every tactic that he's come up with, every change, has been an amalgamation of Sari's quick passing, build up from the back, and possession-oriented play. We struggled a lot under Sari to get that. Then you speak about Conte's three at the back, the defensive solidity. The players have retained, काफी सारे players हैं हमारे, and they stayed and they picked up so quickly from that Wolves game, which had to be like a difficult game. Wolves is a physical team, but look at the way we've just transformed into a unit, a proper machine. I mean, I don't want to blabber too much. We may go on and get beat today, but then let's be real, man. Tuchel's done the job. He's
Yeah.
covered all bases, legit all bases. It's not even a joke. He's been extremely good.
Okay, Amay, I'll stick with you on this on the final tactical slide that we have. Again,
Hmm.
see Chelsea attacking and see how Timo Werner is racing up through the flanks and
Hmm.
how it is impossible, not impossible, it is difficult for Tammy Abraham, as Rishi Rajda already discussed, he is not a center forward or a target man that is having difficulties with his back to the ball. Just cannot turn and play that ball in because of the two defenders that's covering and the run that he has vacated. There's only one ball to play, or it's a back pass. Considering there's a whole formation change tonight and a personnel
Hmm.
change up front with Kai Havertz, with the others that are getting in the peripheries over here and there. So this position where Tammy Abraham is occupying right now is basically the heat map is there with Ben Chilwell. So the fact that your forwards naturally tend to stay in the zone 14, as we all know, or that half space areas where
Hmm.
the likes of Timo Werner, likes of Kai Havertz, likes of your Hakim Ziyech function very well. Do you think
Hmm.
that with what Arsenal, maybe a back three or Rishi Rajda said a back four, would there be a numerical supremacy considering this slide with how open this much is and how
Can I?
Chelsea are
Yeah. Can I just? I honestly don't know. Is it a back three, back four? Rituraj, what is it? What do you think is it? It's a back
For
three.
tonight,
Yeah, for Arsenal.
tonight
For
it's a
Arsenal.
back three. It's a back for Arsenal. Arsenal is playing a back four. We are playing a
Hmm.
back three.
So if considering this image right here, पहली बात तो यार मैं बोलूँगा कि थोड़ा misconstrued है ये image. It's a snapshot of a movement in the first 5 minutes of the game. So a lot of scattered play going on. So, but 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 yes, Tammy was a mixed bag. He really tried to do a lot of things, tried to hold up, tried to build with players, tried to run the channels, but he wasn't particularly good at one thing. Maybe the closest was scoring goals, and we needed players to play between those spaces because that's how you vertically progress. What we usually see with teams who try to play attractive football is the dreaded U, right? We saw that a lot with Chelsea. Maybe we'll see that with Arteta today as well because Arteta, again, if you can't break through vertically, it's pointless. So having those players in the half space, having Pulisic, having Ziyech, having somebody else like that who provides you the ability to turn in like the first movement is key for Tuchel, for Pep, for any big manager, I feel.
and how may I say I'll contradict with the fact that it's a bit scattered. My whole point of the
Hmm.
fact was you don't see Tammy Abraham or you don't see a particular Chelsea striker in coming that deep
Yeah,
or
the
going that
box.
wide. You don't even
Yeah,
see a Timo Werner or a Pulisic or a Kai Havertz going that wide. They're always occupying that space. And even that's why they are scattered and they have just one ball to play
and
with two
can
or three
I
defenders.
Yeah, if I could just add to that, that's actually great analysis right there, Neil, buddy. And what I think is over here in that image, you'll see the vertical distance jitna piche Chelsea khelti thi, and you'll see that under Tuchel we're playing much ahead. We're playing in higher risk zones. We're playing in
Right.
zones where something can happen, and this is I feel like this is where Lampard's ball knowledge is completely described in this image. Attack में यार you need experience. You need to have managed Dortmund, you need to have managed the Neymars, and now we see 3-4 players in that zone, in that half space.
And
So
exactly
this
where
is
the circle is
yeah,
Chelsea. There are
कोई नहीं
players
है.
already over there. That's the point
Yeah,
I'm trying to make.
exactly. That's a good pick here.
Okay, around
See,
15
Tammy
minutes to
had
go.
a lot of
Yeah,
positioning problems. Okay.
Hmm.
And the kind of game that Tammy plays is suited to other clubs in the form of Aston Villa, Leicester,
Yeah.
Wolves. You know,
Yep.
probably, I can bring up the fact that he would do wonders at Leeds because him
right.
and Bamford are players of the same caliber.
Hmm. Have they
He
like
would do
played together or
wonders.
something? Academy?
Huh?
Is that have they like played together? Because
No. No.
hmm. Hmm.
They have not played together, but
Hmm.
the thing is that Tammy needs those kind of teams for him to perform. Yes, fine, I agree for the fact that he's been a very good striker for us and thing. But at the moment, he is of Premier League caliber, yes. But I feel that the kind of striker that we are looking for is not what you can find in Tammy Abraham. Maybe if
Okay, man. True.
If Arsenal take him, or if Villa
Hmm.
take him,
He's
or
got
if
Arsenal
West Ham
roots,
take
huh?
him,
Umang, would
If
you like
West Ham
him?
take him,
Yeah,
yeah,
Would you
he'll
like
be a
him?
good pick at
I
Arsenal.
love him actually. I love Tammy.
Oh, this
He
is
scored a winner at the Emirates in Arteta's
yeah.
He's
first
a
game, if
good
I'm not
fit
wrong.
for
Yeah,
Arsenal.
yeah, he's a good
He's
fit.
one of those defender. He's one of those attackers who has a good sense of defending a ball as well.
Yeah,
Hmm.
wonderful.
For the
You
corners and
know,
shit. Yeah.
yeah, for because of his height. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
like he's basically what they call, what I would say, the Batman of the Peter Crouch of rich
Okay.
Today's
football.
football.
Modern era. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So base
Tammy is somebody who has a bigger package in my opinion. I've seen
well,
that, but then
he was like Andy
yeah,
Carroll when he was at Newcastle before he left for
yeah.
Liverpool.
So
Beast,
Tammy has a very
absolute
high
beast.
ceiling. He has a very high
The
ceiling for sure.
I
Yeah.
I
So
think he had 26 goals now in the
yeah,
championship.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So see,
So, like I said, like I said, he needs a change in environment. Like I said,
Hmm.
those clubs that play that kind of a free-flowing football, like you have Aston Villa, like I said, you have West Ham, you have Wolves, you have, probably even Everton. He would do very well under Ancelotti. He would do very well under Nuno Espirito Santo. He would do well, under Bielsa as well, because they are managers currently who are looking in for strikers. I'm sure Everton are desperately in need of a striker because you cannot trust the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison up
Hmm.
front. You cannot. Even I, as a manager,
Oh,
would never do that.
yeah. No, but Calvert
But
Lewin has been
yeah,
a revolution, man. He's been very
yeah,
good.
Calvert-Lewin,
He's
yes,
been
but
very
like
good.
I said, like again, you cannot trust the
I get it.
youngster
Hmm.
much.
Hmm.
You need to have that second man experience there as well.
Yeah.
Richarlison has been a big flop this
And
season.
Chenek Tosun doesn't provide and doesn't cut it, does he?
Yeah, he doesn't do anything.
He
that
Yeah.
is another
doesn't.
way. Yeah, definitely.
Why was Everton under David Moyes so deadly? Because they had backup after backup after backup.
Hmm.
When
Squad
when
strength.
yeah, their striker failed. They had another very good backup in the form of Victor Anichebe.
NHB, yeah.
Anichebe was a fantastic striker as a backup.
Uh,
They had all the players there. They had Leighton Baines. They had Seamus Coleman, Phil Jagielka. They had the players. They had Arteta himself.
Right.
yeah.
They had the players. David Moyes had the players. He's got exactly what he's got. So, he develops the players. So maybe Tammy will become a world class striker, at thing, but he is not under Thomas Tuchel. No way, because if you see Thomas Tuchel's history of playing players, he will never play a player who doesn't have knowledge of possession or of
Right.
positioning.
Yeah, that's his
Tammy
basis.
is very,
That's
very
his
poor
philosophy.
in his
Yeah.
positioning.
Yeah.
If you see Tammy, he's all over the place like N'Golo Kante. You can't,
Hmm.
like you showed in your previous slide,
Hmm.
you can't drift off so much if you're a striker towards the left. There is a limit to which you have to have for you to drift right and left.
Yeah.
Probably go up to the first to the D line.
Quadrant
That's how
is
far you
okay.
drift because that is where your wingers are coming in.
Hmm. So you can combine with them, do something with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And he should use, he is such a good finisher, Tammy. But unfortunately, he goes for skills. If
Yeah.
people have noticed that.
Yeah.
Your
So
back heels. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So somehow it doesn't cut it for me. No.
I mean,
Okay.
he mentioned something very critical. Tuchel is a very ordered manager. We're talking about a German. Germans are very efficient. They're
Hardcore.
very technical. They think about everything. Pragmatism is something very common with Germans. And
Right.
Tuchel is the epitome of a pragmatic manager, I believe. And I'm going to say this right now. For the UCL game, the reasons why Chelsea's chances are so bright is because Tuchel is more pragmatic than Pep. Pep has this child in him who wants to express. Tuchel knows
Hmm.
to win finals, maybe you have to not attack him. Maybe you have to depend on certain other factors.
Neil,
So,
you remember last podcast? What did I tell you? That there is only
hmm,
one person who can beat Pep, and that is Pep.
hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
he thinks a
Absolutely.
lot. He thinks a lot. He thinks a lot.
Yeah, that
Pep
three
can
three
only
three one
Pep only needed to
formation,
beat
that
Pep.
the 3-3-3-1 formation, that
Hmm.
whatever
And
he put
I'll
out.
tell you what, Tuchel's in his head. Tuchel is in Pep's head right now. After these two wins, last match was a bit weird. It was a hybrid game, funny shit. But then he's in his head. Tuchel,
Absolutely.
He has his number, long friends. Go back to 2015. They had this incident where they were playing with these salt and pepper का जो होता है ना यार वो. So in the
Check.
restaurant, waiter से बोला लेके आ. And these are good friends. You need to understand they've exchanged philosophies. They know weaknesses एक दूसरे का. वो जानते हैं कि कौन सा इंसान कहाँ पे weak हो सकता है. So I feel like
Right.
this is going to be a great match.
But considering the fact that Pep, the kind of manager he is,
Yeah.
he's the only one who can screw himself.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one else.
outright.
Because he
And he does
Okay.
not have Messi.
Like
And he
Amar
does
said.
not have Messi. He does not have
Okay.
Messi.
Okay, let's stop the Pep screwing over himself and not change the topic from an Arsenal perspective. Yeah, Ubang is already feeling left out that we went from Arteta to Pep in
No,
no
no,
time.
no.
Okay, around 7 minutes to go for the kickoff. It's time for the predictions. I'll start with Umang. Arsenal have a stronger lineup on paper than Chelsea, but Arsenal are ninth and like 30 points away from Manchester United right now. And felt good saying that, by the way. So realistically, do you think that it is time to make amends for Arteta, and this is the time to start that, Umang? And predictions, of
हाँ
course.
हाँ आज ऐसे जीत सकते हैं क्योंकि आज कोई कोई प्रेशर नहीं है और लास्ट मैच में भी कोई प्रेशर नहीं है था तो विलियन स्कोर्ड अ फ्री किक उसने पूरे सीजन में कुछ नहीं किया मतलब स्कोर्ड अ फ्री किक तब तक कोई प्रेशर नहीं था उस मैच में तो आज भी आई थिंक चेल्सी के जो मेजर जो है गोल थ्रेट्स होंगे वो मेसन माउंट और पुलिसिच मुझे लग रहे हैं हैवर्ट्स में आई थिंक उसका पहला सीजन है एंड ही इज नॉट दैट फिजिकल
Bro, you're making that's a mistake right there, you know. I have a feeling he's scoring today. I have a feeling. I've said it today, right now.
Maybe he'll go, but that's my opinion. He's
Hmm.
not that physical right now. He's like a David Silva who, back in the day.
But didn't you see the
British-
Madrid game? You know, he was so
Yeah.
good physically, so good.
Yeah, he was good, but
With Ramos.
maybe देखते हैं क्या होता है, but I think that he's not that physical.
Yeah.
And regarding the prediction, I'll back my club. 2-1 win maybe. 2-1 win, yeah.
2-1 win for Arsenal. Okay, positive Arsenal vibes as always, which doesn't come to fruition. Amma, you're on screen. Your predictions for tonight?
Honestly, if I could contradict to what among my buddy just said, this Arsenal fan, Arsenal are playing for nothing. I get that. Chelsea are playing for something, and that's the
Yeah,
leeway
top
that
four
we
place.
get by the leeway that we get by winning these games, so that we don't have to play a difficult lineup against Fulham. You know, because UCL is
Yeah.
coming up. It'll be quick. It'll be around the corner. So we need to rest players. Top four pehle ho gaya, and I feel like this is a game which we need to win. Not just because it's a London derby, but because there are bigger things at stake. You know. So and I feel like Tuchel sees it that way as well. So again, I'm gonna pick my club. Of course, I feel like it'll be a calm 2-0, 3-1. I don't know, 2-0, 3-1. I'm bad with predictions. I'm very bad.
Rishi Rajda, just to top of the show.
It's a 1 or 2-0 Arsenal win.
Ooh.
He sticks with this prediction of Arsenal steamrolling Chelsea.
That'll be disappointing, honestly. After all we've done these past few weeks, it'll be bad.
Look, considering the fact that Arsenal have never beaten us since 2011 at Stamford Bridge, things can change. Considering what I saw in today's lineup, there is a completely high possibility because teams turn up against us.
They do.
Out of the blue.
They do.
Out of
But
the
ये तो
blue.
season
We had
end
West Ham. West Ham screwed us with 5. This is Arsenal. They
West
can even
Brom,
do 7.
West
But
Brom.
do you think
West
it was
Brom.
West Brom did 5 to us. Arsenal can do 7.
नहीं वो तो नहीं होगा यार.
Jinxing चल
क्या
रहा है
बात
यार.
कर रहे हो? This is-
यार jinxing चल रहा है. Stop with the jinxing.
Okay, I took some time to understand what
Fine. But if you don't no banter, it'll either be an Arsenal win or it'll be a draw.
Okay. On सबका सुन लिया. Time to summarize it up and to catch up. क्योंकि 3 minutes to go for the kickoff. What I feel is that Arsenal have gone with a heavy midfield kind of a setup, which they have always gone with. Chelsea with that mobile front three is too much depending on that fact that they are going to create everything. And I don't think they'll get much support from Jorginho in midfield, even though he's a very good midfielder. But you need better players up front to actually interact with those spaces and interact with the style of play he has. overall, I'll agree with Rishraj that this Chelsea side looks a lot imbalanced than what their complete lineup is, and Arsenal do have that chance if they string a few passes together and if they get the ball rolling, it just might come to an Arsenal win. But I'll go for a 1-1 draw because both Arsenal with and without their on and off form, and Chelsea with the superior mentality and the space they're at right now, being on 2 cup finals, I think that is going to even out a bit. Okay, that was pretty much about it. 3 minutes to go for the kickoff. I'll let you guys enjoy your beers and get your popcorns. So thank you, Amay. Lovely talking to you. Umang, as
Cheers,
always,
guys.
man.
Cheers.
And Rishi Rajda, lovely having your expert opinion on such short notice. Chalo, we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.
Easy, guys.
Chalo,
Good
bye.
night, guys.
Chalo. Hope for a good game. Bye.
Sure.
Chalo. That was pretty much about it from Podcast with Neil. And right now, what you've got to do is hit the subscribe button before the match starts. And यार कर लो भाई 1.2 के बहुत दिन से बाकी है अभी थोड़ा 1.2 के कर दो तो hopefully Arsenal can win. So that was pretty much about it. Manchester United versus Liverpool, all amazing. क्या होते हैं Manchester United Liverpool is Manchester United Liverpool, nothing to talk about that. चलो enjoy the game. We'll see you very very soon tomorrow. This is your boy Neil for Netflix Football, your favorite host as usual. Hit that subscribe button, do support, and chalo bye bye. See you on the